Hello everybody and welcome back to another educational video on my still quite dead tech channel. To be honest with you, the last video I did on this topic did quite well. I mean, 16 views at time of recording is quite good for this channel, seeing as how small it is. So, I thought I'd do another one of these. And I'm doing this because of my own free will, and totally not because I forgot to mention networking layers in the last video. So, welcome back to the ominous white screen. So you're probably wondering, what are we going to be talking about in today's TED Talk? In today's video we're going to be talking about network layers. And no, my handwriting has not improved since the last video. Leave me alone. So, network layers. Now, this may seem a little bit scary at first, but trust me, it really isn't. The concept of network layers is to divide the task of networking into smaller and more manageable tasks. That's what the purpose of a networking layer is. Now, this links very, very well to the idea of decomposition, which is one of the fundamentals of algorithmic thinking. So, there are many advantages to using layers. So one of the advantages is that so it's a lot easier to perform tasks. Devices can be manufactured to work on a specific layer. And finally, different networking software from different companies will work together. So you could have, I don't know, a router from TP-Link or a server from Samsung, and they would work together perfectly fine. That's basically what a network layer does. Now, there are 5 main network layers, and I'm going to get into what each of them do now. So here we have all the different networking layers. Now, I know that all of these words mean nothing to you right now, but trust me, they will in a minute. So first off, we have the application layer. Now, this is the start, so we're going to just mark this as start. So this is where, so say I'm trying to access a web page, for example, so I'm just going to say the BBC. Now, an application software is usually stuff like web browsers, which in my case is Opera GX. Yes, I use Opera GX, leave me alone. So, Opera GX is in this application layer, and protocols that usually lie in this layer are HTTPS. I send a request to the BBC that I would like to access their website, and it goes from this layer down to the transport layer, and what this layer is designed to do, it's designed to agree on certain variables between the hosts, so that's stuff like packet size and language. So you'll notice that some websites will auto-translate. Google has lots of different languages, obviously, so it auto-translates. And some of the protocols that lie in this layer are stuff like TCP and UDP for transporting the data. Next, we move on to the internet layer. And what this does is this assigns the packets of data a host IP and a recipient IP. So say I'm trying to send it from the IP 121.69.420, because I'm very funny. So this is the source IP, and I'm trying to send it to the BBC's IP address, which is 139.42.01. So this is the recipient. Now, the internet layer has the IP protocol, which basically allows you to route the data through the IP protocol, so through the internet essentially. Next, we move on to the network interface layer, or as I've got it written down here, the link layer. So these two layers here kind of link to each other, so I'm just going to refer to these as the link layer. And this is where physical network hardware would reside, so stuff like NICs or network interface cards. So yeah, this is where the actual network hardware is shown. Now here you'll find protocols like Wi-Fi and Ethernet. This allows for the transport of the packets from the internet layer through the internet back to the desired IP address. Now, I just want to quickly show you a little diagram, because I know what I just said was a bit of a mishmash. So we've got a little diagram here. So here's me. This is I'm the computer here, and I'm just going to assign the same IP, so 121.69.420. And I want to send a message to my friend Hans, who is in Germany. I'm using Hans again, leave me alone. Motherfucker. So what I do is I'd send it from my IP address through an application software like Opera, so that's the application layer, and that would to the transport layer, where it would agree on the packet size and it would agree on the packet size. Then that goes down to the network layer, which might assign my IP address as the source IP, and then Hans's IP address as the recipient IP. Then that will go to the link layer, which would deliver my message to my router, where my message will go into the router and then directly out of the router again, across the probably internet cables that are under the sea, and into Hans's router, where it goes through the network layer and then the transport layer. And then the transport layer makes sure that there is no errors in the data that we've just transmitted, and if there is, it will reacquire the packets that are missing. Then to the application layer, where Hans can read my message, which in this case was hello. So in this video we have learned what network layers are and all of the different type of network layers, that being application layer, transport layer, network layer, and link layer, and how each one of the protocols we mentioned in the last video reside in here, such as HTTPS, TCP or UDP, IP. We've also learned that when you're sending packets of data, they are given a source IP and a recipient IP, and that the entire point of networking layers is to essentially decompose the complex tasks of networking into smaller layers. So, I hope you enjoyed another educational video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.